Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering unboxing. So today we're going to be looking at the third of the 5 Magic the Gathering Commander 2015 decks. This is the black-green Plunder the Graves deck. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of graveyard mechanics and shenanigans we have going on in this deck. Again, and I'm going to go through the card properly here, but the lead commander has reference to this experience counter mechanic. So we'll see how that works out with the deck. As with all the other decks, 100 card commander deck, the foil oversized commander card, there's only one of those. Even though there's a choice of 3 commanders, the foil oversized card is only for what you would call the lead commander. There's 10 double-sided token cards included in here, a deck storage box which basically just stores the deck without any sleeves on it, a deck strategy insert and a rules reference card, and just reading out here, Plunder the Graves, Mirren of Clan Nel Toth draws on the corpses of mighty creatures to serve as her minions. The more creatures die, the faster the fallen return to fight on her behalf, so she freely sacrifices the living to make room for the dead. We'll open this up and take a look. So there's our nice foily Mirren of Clan Nel Toth, and we'll look at that card properly when we come to look at the rest of the deck. What we got in here? Yeah, so this effectively is our deck box. Like I said, once you start sleeving up, you can't really obviously fit in here. So it's really good for holding the unsleeved deck. Another rules reference guide, the sort of slimmed down version that we're seeing all the time now. And what we'll do is we'll take a look, as we have done with the other decks, at the, I suppose you would call this the sort of play guide for the deck. Pretty shiny. We'll see how this looks on the camera. So what they do here really is they give you a sort of backstory to the lead commander, and then they also mention one of the other alternates here. And then there's a piece here about playing the commander game itself, and an overall, the sort of philosophy behind Commander, if you like, and how the format works, and the fact that it's multiplayer. So I'm going to just take a look here. Let's try and spread this out so you can see this. So this is obviously listing all the cards in the deck. As in previous videos, just to point out anybody that's not seen the other unboxings for the first 2 Commander decks I unboxed. Anything with a star by in here is basically a new card for the release. So these will be completely new to Magic. They're talking about new cards here. They're not talking about new artwork. They will be legal for play in Vintage and Legacy formats, basically. The other thing they mark here with a little cross is going to be the alternate commander. So in this deck, where you've got Mirren of the Clan Nel Toth as the first choice, they also have Jared Golgari Leashlord in here, and Mazarek Cruel Death Priest in there. None of the lands are new for this release, so there's nothing special in the sort of land section. But with artifacts, there's here you've got like Thought Vessel is a new card. So yeah, so let's go through this and have a look at the deck. Actually, starting off, look at some of these tokens. It gives a sort of idea of what the deck's trying to achieve. with some of its cards. So obviously something in the deck is generating germ tokens and also zombie tokens. This is our experience token marker, where you can place our experience counters, and I'll come on to what that is in a moment if you've not seen any unboxings of these new decks yet. Elephant token and zombie. So something clearly is generating elephant tokens and sapling tokens. There's a sapling token. Elephant and sapling. Spiders are also being generated by this deck somewhere along the line. And another sapling, another spider, another sapling, spider and wolf. So we got wolf tokens coming in somewhere. Spider again, and another wolf, and another zombie token, and a wolf. Okay, so we'll just go through this. Normally with these decks, they seem to be stacking them so that we've got the commons and uncommons first, and then they go through to the rares. So we'll take a look at all the rares. So we've got Sakuri Tribe Elder in the deck. Not surprisingly in green. We're going to see some mana ramping going on here. Satya Wayfinder, Viridian Emissary, Wall of Blossoms, Korozda Guildmage. Also have problems with that one. Korozda Guildmage. Bloodban is in the deck. Phyrexian Rager, Skullwinder, Wood Elves, Eternal Witness, Corpse Augur, Shriekmaw, Indrik Stomp Howler, Banshee of the Dread Choir, Acidic Slime, Great Oak Guardian, Thief of Blood, Caller of the Pack. It says Myriad on it. And again, if you've not seen the other videos, I'll just read through this. So, Trample Myriad. Whenever this creature attacks, for each opponent other than defending player, you may put a token that's a copy of this creature onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker he or she controls. Exile the tokens at the end of combat. Skull Clamp's in here, so we're going through some artifacts now. Soul Ring, Golgari Signet's going to generate black, green, 4/1 colourless. Lightning Greaves. Here's our Thought Vessel. So this is a 2 colourless artifact, which gives the makes it so that you have no minimum hand size, but also can be tapped for 1 colourless mana. Diabolic Servitude, Altars Reap. So we've got some sack stuff going on here. Tribute to the Wild, Golgari Charm, Grizzly Salvage, Putrefy, Mulch. So here we go. So this is our main commander. This is Mirren of Clan Neltoth. 2 black green for legendary creature human shaman. 3/4. Whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. At the beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. Notice it's in your graveyard. If that card's converted mana cost is less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have, return it to the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Meseric Kroll Death Priest is a 3 black green legendary creature insect shaman for with 2 power toughness 2/2. Flying, whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. And Gerard Golgari Leashlord, 2 black 2 green legendary creature zombie elf. It's a 2/2. Gerard Golgari Leashlord gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. 1 colourless black green, sacrifice another creature. Each opponent loses life equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Sacrifice a swamp and a forest. Return Jared from your graveyard to your hand. So that's our three potential commanders. First one was the like I called the lead commander. And now we're moving on to all our sort of rares and mythics here. Champion of Stray Souls, 4/2 black, 4/4 creature skeleton warrior. 3/2 black, tap, sacrifice X other creatures, return X target creature cards from your graveyard to your battlefield. 5/2 black, put Champion of Stray Souls on top of your library from your graveyard. Eldrazi Monument is in here, so it's a pretty cool card. This is 5 colourless artifact. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and have flying and indestructible. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. If you can't, sacrifice Eldrazi Monument. Centaur Vine Crusher, 3 in a green, a 1/1 creature plant centaur. Trample, Centaur Vine Crusher enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters on it, equal to the number of land cards in all graveyards. Whenever a land card is put into a graveyard from anywhere, you may pay 2 green. If you do, return Centaur Vine Crusher from your graveyard to your hand. Bloodspore Thrinax, 2 and 2 green, 2/2 creature lizard with Devour 1 on it. So that means that as this enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This creature enters the battlefield with that many +1/+1 counters on it. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional X +1/+1 counter on it, where X is a number of +1/+1 counters on Bloodspore Thrinax. Pathbreaker Ibex is a 4 and 2 green creature goat, 3/3. Whenever Pathbreaker Ibex attacks, creatures you control get trample and get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Scourge of Neltoth, 5 and 2 black creature zombie dragon with its 6/6 has flying. You may cast Scourge of Neltoth from your graveyard by paying 2 black and sacrificing 2 creatures rather than paying its mana cost. Wretched Confluence, 3 and 2 black instant, choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. Target player draws a card and loses 1 life. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. And return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Dread Summons, X and 2 black, sorcery. Each player puts the top X cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. For each creature card put into the graveyard this way, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield tapped. Viridian Zealot, 2 green, 2/1 creature elf warrior. 1 and a green, sacrifice Viridian Zealot. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Lolith Trolls in the deck, black, green, creature zombie troll, 2/1, trample, discard a creature card, put a +1/+1 counter on Lolith Troll, or Lotleth Troll. Black, regenerate Lotleth Troll. Kessig Cagebreakers, 4 and a green, creature human rogue, 3/4. Whenever Kessig Cagebreakers attack, put a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield tapped and attacking for each creature card in your graveyard. That's where our wolves come from. Phyrexian Plague Lord, 3 and 2 black, 4/4 creature carrier. Tap, sacrifice Phyrexian Plague Lord. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. Sacrifice a creature. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Mycoloth, 3 and 2 green, 4/4 creature fungus, devour 2. So as it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This creature enters the battlefield with twice that many +1/+1 counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a 1/1 green sapling creature token onto the battlefield for each +1/+1 counter on Mycoloth. Vulturous Zombie, 3 black green for a 3/3 creature plant zombie with flying. Whenever a card is put onto the opponent's graveyard Whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, put a +1/+1 counter on Vulturous Zombie. Cloud Thresher, 2 and 4 green, 7/7 creature elemental with flash and reach. When Cloud Thresher enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to each creature with flying and each player. Evoke for 2 and 2 green. So you may cast this spell for its evoker cost. If you do, it's sacrificed when it enters the battlefield. So when you do that, what it's actually doing is triggering the ability on the, it's enter the battlefield ability. So when it enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to each creature with flying and each player. Butcher of Malakir, 5 and 2 black, 5/4 creature vampire warrior with flying. Whenever Butcher of Malakir or another creature you control dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Eater of Hope, 5 and 2 black creature demon, 6/4 with flying. 1 black, sacrifice another creature, regenerate Eater of Hope. 2 black, sacrifice 2 other creatures, destroy target creature. Terastodon, so this is where the elephants are coming from. When Terastodon enters the battlefield, you may destroy up to 3 target non-creature permanents. For each permanent put into a graveyard this way, its controller puts a 3/3 green elephant creature token onto the battlefield. Now the great thing with this is that the different ways it can be used. So if you think about it, it's saying you may destroy up to 3 target non-creature permanents. So for instance, you could actually blow up your own land and then from that get 3/3 green elephant creature tokens onto the battlefield if you chose to blow up 3 lands. You could also use it to almost make smaller a serious threat that an opponent had. So you could basically cast this, destroy one like non-creature permanent. That could be anything, and give them a 3/3 green elephant creature token. But notice it's non-creature permanents, so you're going to be pretty limited in terms of if you're trying to remove a threat on an opponent's board, then that's going to be fairly narrow in what you can sort of remove. You certainly can't use it to remove a creature threat, for instance, but certainly very good at casting and basically blowing up your own lands to get you elephants. Verdant Force, 5 and 3 green for a 7/7 creature in an elemental. At the beginning of each upkeep, put a 1/1 green sapling creature token onto the battlefield. Bone Horde, 4 colourless artifact weapon. It's a living weapon, so when the equipment enters the battlefield, it actually comes into play on a 0/0 black germ creature token. So it just attaches itself to it. Equipped creature gets +X/+X, where X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards, and equipped for 2. Sever the Bloodline, 3 and a black sorcery. Exile target creature and all other creatures with the same name as that creature. Flashback, 5 and 2 black. So you can cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, and then you have to exile it. Overwhelming Stampede, 3 and 2 green. Sorcery, until end of turn, creatures you control gain trample and get +X/+X, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. And then we have a number of land here. We've got Grim Backwaters, so this taps for colourless, and for 2 black-green you can tap it, sacrifice a creature and draw a card. High Market taps for colourless also. You can tap it, sacrifice a creature, you gain 1 life. Extractor Demons in here, 4 and 2 black, 5/5 creature demon with flying. Whenever another creature leaves the battlefield, you may have target player put the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. It's also got Unearth, 2 and a black, so 2 black. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haze. Exile it at the beginning of your next end step, or if it would leave the battlefield. Unearth only as a sorcery. Victimize, 2 and a black sorcery. Choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard. Sacrifice a creature. If you do, return the chosen cards to the battlefield tapped. Primal Growth. So we're moving back to some uncommons and commons here. So these are obviously non-creature spells. So we've got Primal Growth. Ambition's Cost is in here. Draw 3 cards, you lose 3 life. Bartering Blood. Makes each player sacrifice 2 creatures. Rise from the Grave. Spider Spawning. and here is our basic land, our swamps, so just so you can look at the artwork for that. And our forests. So it'd be interesting to see if we've got a few more utility and fixing lands in here. We'll see when we get further down. Okay, so Vivid Grove is in here, no surprise to see the Vivid lands. These work with charge counters, so they enter the battlefield tap with 2 charge counters on them. You tap, add green to your mana pool in this case, and tap, remove a charge counter for Vivid Grove, and it allows you to add 1 mana of any colour to your mana pool. Vivid Marsh is in here, which is the black equivalent. Command Tower is in here. It'll add to your mana pool 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity. This is in all the decks. Evolving Wilds, nice fetch land for basic lands. Golgari Guildgate, so we've got a on-colour Guildgate. Golgari Rot Farm. Jungle Hollow, so another thing that fixes for black-green. Polluted Mire, so this is the cycling land for black. Slippery Cast, so this is the cycling land for green. Tainted Wood is in here. And Terramorphic Expanse, another useful fetch land for basic land. Okay, so there we have the Merrin of Clandnell Toth deck from the new Commander product. The deck itself is referred to as Plunder the Graves, and it's the black-green graveyard based deck. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.